A place of unparalleled beauty and amazing adventures, Anglesey is an historic island full of character, a place that inspires and appeals to all the senses. Discover a unique heritage with me as we try to uncover all that we can about Bryn Celli Ddu. My name is Kaylee and welcome back to another video. Today we have travelled to Wales to the island of Anglesey to uncover all that we can about Bryn Celli Ddu. Bryn Celli Ddu, the mound in the Dark Grove, is probably the best known prehistoric monument on the island of Anglesey. Like the other prehistoric tombs on Anglesey, it was constructed to protect and pay respects to the remains of the ancestors. The Isle of Anglesey is situated on the northwest coast of Wales. It is separated from the mainland by the Menai Strait, which is spanned by two bridges, the Menai Bridge and the Britannia Bridge. Anglesey was known as Mother of Wales during the Middle Ages because of its fertile fields. Anglesey also has the village with the longest place name in Britain. There used to be 30 recorded megaliths on Anglesey in the Cambrian Registry in 1796, some of which had already been dismantled or destroyed. Others have subsequently been lost and new sites have been discovered since. Bryn Celli Ddu was formerly known as Llyn Lhuoed, and it's actually two sites in one, meaning that the mound that we see today is actually the later phase of the monument. The earlier monument was a henge enclosing a circle of stones, marked by a ditch 21 meters in diameter. Cremated human bones have been found at the base of some of these stones. The henge most likely dates from 3075 to 2950 BCE, but it may have been preceded by another ritual structure. A row of post holes within the henge have been uncovered during excavations in 1928. Charcoal found at the bottom of these post holes have been dated back to the Mesolithic age, the Middle Stone Age, and much older than the henge monument. Over centuries of rediscovery and excavation, it now looks like a burial mound. About 1,000 years after the henge was built, near the end of the Neolithic period, this site went through a complete redesign. The standing stones, which originally formed a circle within the henge, were knocked down and damaged, most likely by the builders of the next phase. It's been suggested that the deliberate destruction of the henge stones was a result of conflict between people of two religious beliefs, where the later culture destroyed evidence of the former culture instead of reusing the stones. A passage tomb was then built within the boundaries of the old henge, measuring 26 meters in diameter. The entrance of the mound lines up perfectly with the summer solstice, leading the light of the rising sun along the 8-meter-long passage into the burial chamber. The burial chamber is in the shape of an octagon, and it's 2.5 meters in diameter. The chamber has a roof made of two capstones, a large one and a smaller one. The passage was divided in two parts. The inner passage, roofed with large capstones, and the outer passage, which was never roofed. A patterned stone was discovered lying face down in a pit beneath the tomb's chamber. It must have been buried there before the tomb building began. It's an unanswered mystery if the patterned stone was buried to hide it away, or if it was buried to sanctify the site. The original patterned stone can be seen in the National Museum of Wales. The patterned stone just outside the entrance of Bryn Celli Ddu is a replica of the original stone. Because of the harsh weather conditions, the carved patterns will deteriorate very quickly, and this damage can never be undone. I'm glad the National Museum of Wales still has the original stone. This way you can still see the original artwork for centuries to come. We saw at Loughrea in Ireland how quickly these carvings can deteriorate in harsh weather conditions, especially when these stones had previously been covered by earth for thousands of years. The earliest excavations in 1865 done by Captain Lucas revealed small fragments of burnt and unburnt bones within the chamber. Near the pillar inside the chamber he found a few flint artifacts, among them a triangular arrowhead or javelin head. The pillar itself had fallen before 1802 as Reverend John Skinner had made a drawing showing it lying east to west. The socket of the pillar was perfectly preserved, maintaining the shape so accurately that when they placed the pillar back into the socket, it again stood in the exact position as it was placed thousands of years ago. In 1928 and 1929, Bryn Cahidi was excavated by Wilfred James Hemp. He was also the one who found the pattern stone. Around the mound near the ditch were found many artifacts, including a stone bead, showing the human workmanship from the Neolithic era. Nothing was found with it or even near it. Archaeologists assume that it was most likely lost by one of the builders thousands of years ago. It shows a little bit of wear on the outer edges, due to the friction it used to have with the neighboring beads on a string. It's composed of some sort of soft volcanic mudstone with traces of white mica and minute quartz. This composition is found in a lot of mudstones. Between 50 and 20 flakes of flint have been discovered around the area of the monuments. None of these artifacts have been dated due to the fact that they were casual finds and couldn't be dated with any accuracy. White quartz had been found all over the site. Most, if not all, were water-worn pebbles and had been deliberately broken. Two noticeably large fragments of red jasper had been found in the filling of the central pit. Smaller pieces were found around the site as well, but none as large as these two. The mound we see today is the result of excavation and restoration done by Wilfred Hemp in the 1920s. The mound used to cover the entire area within the henchstones, but the current mound only covers the passage and the chamber. To protect the stones from the weather and making this place of public interest that resembles the original structure. This half mound allows the back wall of the chamber to remain exposed, so that light can illuminate the interior of the chamber, letting those who venture inside to appreciate it without torches or flashlights. Throughout recorded history, attempts have been made to decipher, interpret, and assign origins to these ancient structures. But even today, the meaning and significance of these prehistoric monuments is not fully understood. Megaliths are still regarded by many as stones that have been constructed symmetrically by ancient people, as conspicuous features in the landscape. However, these megaliths and large monumental structures have rarely escaped the attention of people. Folklore is one of the ways in which communities have attempted to comprehend these monuments. Although interpretations offered by folklore cannot be regarded as accurate or wholly reliable, they can offer valuable insight. From 1284 until 1535, the English annexed and united all of Wales under the English crown, still separate from England but under the same monarchy. The last remnants of the Celtic traditional Welsh laws were abolished and replaced by the English in the Laws in Wales Act from 1535 until 1542. The Principality of Wales began to refer to the whole country, though it remained a principality only in the ceremonial sense. The 20th century saw a revival in the national Welsh feeling. In 1925, Plaid Cymru was formed, seeking greater autonomy and independence from the rest of the UK. The Welsh Language Society was formed in 1962, in response to long-held fears that the language would soon die out. The Welsh language is an Indo-European language from the Celtic family. The most closely related still-spoken language is Cornish. In the north and west of Wales are many areas in which Welsh is still spoken as a first language, and English is spoken as the second. And in the east and south of Wales, the majority of the population speaks English as a first language, and Welsh is learned as the second language. This is the reason why the site is known as Bryn Cahidi instead of the English translation, Mound in the Dark Grove. The serpentine pattern and the passage tomb featured heavily in the short animated film Songs from Stones, about Anglesea's archaeological sites and artifacts, produced as part of the Cultural Olympiad in 2012. Between 2015 and 2020, the Bryn Celli Public Archaeology Project has been engaged in studies of the surrounding landscape. This has resulted in study of ancient rock art close by with cupmark decorations. A second burial chamber, about 50 meters to the south of Bryn Celli, had been leveled in the past. As part of the project, they conducted an excavation in 2019, revealing a circular burial mound. Radiocarbon dating has placed the construction of this structure at 1900 BCE, thus making this a Bronze Age burial mound, which is at least a few hundred years younger than Bryn Celli and a few thousand years younger as the original Henge monument. This monument does show evidence that it had continuous human occupation for almost 1,000 years. Dr. Ben Edwards, Senior Lecturer in Archaeology and Heritage at Manchester Metropolitan University, is part of the team working on excavation and research into the surrounding area. He states that there is original Bronze Age soil beneath the monument, and geophysical surveys suggest that there are other monuments in the area waiting to be discovered. The area shows evidence of at least 2 phases of development, and was probably part of a ceremonial landscape with a complex of burial mounds, henges and other monuments, just as we've seen in the Brunabóin, Carrowmore and Loughrea monuments. Even more so, this area does not resemble the style of the British monuments, but rather those of the Irish monuments. At that time, people from Wales were travelling across the Irish Sea, thus coming in contact with the Irish megalithic cemeteries. It's an absolute shame that almost all of these monuments have been destroyed in the last few thousand years. So much history that is lost forever, but hopefully we can still learn from them by the fractions of evidence they left behind. Since 2014, a series of events have taken place at Bryn Celli as part of the public archaeology and engagement work. In 2018, this took the form of an archaeology festival with activities including local volunteer archaeologists digging on site, a local young archaeologist club excavation day, visits from children from 8 local schools, a stargazing event, and a solstice event, this to name a few. I definitely recommend visiting this place, especially in the upcoming years. Hopefully, they will continue their archaeological research and reveal more evidence that's been hidden for thousands of years. If you enjoyed watching, then don't forget to leave it a thumbs up. Subscribe if you like to see more of these kind of videos, and click the bell icon if you want to receive notifications whenever I upload. If you haven't watched my previous videos yet, then click the card in the end screen or click the link in the description down below. And for now, thanks for watching, and I will see you next time, where we will visit a Dutch dolmen.